Here we have a pre-owned 2018 Mercedes-Benz GLC 300. This one's a 4MATIC, so we get that all-wheel drive capability. Polar white is the paint, and then we have tan leather interior. The powertrain consists of a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, and that's mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission. A little over 85,000 miles on it. To the front end here, we do get our LED daytime running lights and our halogen headlamps. And a really nice look for this, even though we don't have LEDs, that should be easy to change out there, but still a nice front fascia. And down here to these wheels, these are going to be 18-inch alloy. Passive keyless entry on all 4 doors. And then 3-stage heated seats. We have memory seat functions, and then we have a power seat, thigh support, all of that there. Even a power headrest, which is nice. Power door lock controls are there. We got one touch up and down on all 4 windows, and then our power mirror controls are there with blind spot monitors. Those mirrors also fold. Rear window lock is there, and then a power boot there. Headlamp controls, electronic parking brake, hood release. Then we get a power tilt telescoping steering wheel. But there's the seat itself with 4-way power lumbar support. Want to give a huge thanks to Genesis of Cool Springs for allowing me to review this GLC 300 today. I'll leave a link below in the description. But if you're looking to find the best price on one of these used closer to home, click on that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever pre-owned vehicle you might be interested in. But I have that seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs, so this is the space I have behind myself, which really isn't bad. And even with the panoramic roof, tons of headroom above. Now here we have the rear AC vents. And we can toggle if we want the vents open or closed. And then down here we have a 2-prong 115-volt plug-in, and then a 12-volt there. And there's a view of the front. And right there we have the storage tray in the middle, and then the bottle holders right in there. Nice reading lights in the back. Nice hook there if you want to hang a shirt or something. Your child locks are right here, so you can lock and unlock it. Nice look at the back end there. Dual exhaust integrated in the bumper. And then pretty good space behind the second row there. Your top tethers are on the back of the seats themselves. And then a 12-volt here. And I like the lights on both sides. That's a nice touch. Netted pocket on the side here, and then you can power release either side there. And you can see the difference in the space. Fuel fillers here. Premium's recommended. And that's how you snap that back into place. Or if you want to do it from the front, you have a button down here. There's the front passenger seat with 4-way power lumbar. Seat controls over here. A lockable glove compartment. The owner's manual still in this one. And then a storage pocket on the side there if you ever want to use that. Now as we come back around to the front end, if I can find the release. There's that 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. Let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat. Actually, before we do that, I want to show off the turn signals. So love having them in the side mirror there. I think those are LEDs there, so that's nice. But let's hop in here. Nice leather wrap steering wheel here. There's the horn. And I'm just gonna give a quick run through of the radio here. I have the navigation up now. Now for audio, we do get AM, FM, as well as satellite, internet radio. And then you have the option of having the HD frequencies when available, which is always nice. And then the navigation system, again, there, and you can type in your destinations or whatever if you want to do that. But pretty good picture, my opinion at least. And then your Bluetooth audio, which includes your USB drives as well. And then the CD drive, which is down here below. So on down here, you have shortcuts for all of that: telephone, car settings, hazards are there, and then your dual zone automatic climate controls are throughout here. Fan speed can be adjusted, or direction can be adjusted, and temperature on either side. Hit this button here, and that pulls up the actual menu there. And you can scroll through air distribution, airflow, etc. Backup cameras there, guidelines follow you as you turn the steering wheel. And then bottle holders are here, 12-volt little ashtray there. And then this is what you use to control the radio, to go through all of that. And then for your drive modes, just hit this dynamic switch here. You have Eco, Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, and Individual. Then your manual mode is here while you're in drive, and you can toggle that there. Traction control, then this can cut the system on or off. Auto stop toggle is here if you don't like that. And then your center console cubby space with 2 USB-A ports and an SD card reader. But there is the sunshade again. So sunshade retracts from both sides there. Then you can tilt or slide it, so that's a one touch for the slide function there. And that's pretty cool how it does that. And if you want to hit it all the way back, you can get the shade all the way back out of the way. But there's a view of the back seat from up here. All those controls, sunglasses holder right in there. Vanity mirror. And then back to the steering wheel itself. Blinkers are over here. Rear wiper. And then the fluid for that, either direction there. And then your intermittent wipers for the front are there. And then the front fluid is that button. And then your high beams. But shifters over here on the column, so hit the brake, pull down for drive, tap up for neutral, all the way up for reverse. Press P for parking while you're in drive. You can toggle that manual mode here, and it'll show you which one's going on. Now for the 9 speeds, you do have the paddle shifters behind the steering wheel, so that's a nice touch. For the cruise control, you just kind of toggle it that way, accelerate, decelerate, and then your home button, all of your functions for the middle part of the gauge cluster are right in there. Now if you go down in your settings to the settings function, you can go to the instrument cluster and then change your units of measurement if you want to do that. And then volume, mute, Bluetooth, voice recognition. And there's your key in the ignition there. But next, let's go ahead and take a quick test drive of this 2018 Mercedes-Benz GLC 300. So starting the test drive in this GLC 300, have it in Sport Plus now. Pretty quick. just in terms of the shifts being snappy, the acceleration being good. And even on bumps, the ride is relatively plush. Wouldn't necessarily say it's super smooth, but again, it does absorb the bumps nicely, and it makes it more comfortable than you would expect in a vehicle like this. Now, most of the time, probably just being in the comfort mode will be more than enough for you. But I like to have that maximum amount of power when I can. And what I do like about the Sport Plus mode in this is it feels AMG-like. So the AMGs are really good at having good power, but then you're still comfortable when you don't have your foot all the way down and things of that nature. So even though this is more of a sportier feel in terms of the throttle response, it's still really nice. And I like that you can just manually throw on the paddle shifters at any given time. He has a pretty relaxing drive overall, again, even in the Sport Plus mode. So I'm going to give it a decent pull here, not going to floor it. Here we go. So yeah, really nice getting up to speed there. And if you look to your right there, there's the Hyundai Sonata that I either burned up the alternator or the AC compressor getting on the interstate here. So I say I did, but it really was just faulty. But other than that, that car drove really well. But back to this one here, very, very luxurious feel here. Very smooth driving. Again, I love having the 9-speed. It just kind of keeps the revs down low for the highway to maximize that fuel economy. But another thing that you wouldn't expect is this is in the class of a small SUV, but especially with the 4MATIC, it just handles so well. You feel like you're more of an estate car than a small SUV, if that makes sense. Just very nice handling here. And again, in the Sport Plus mode, just makes it that much more fun to drive. But I want to give one more thanks to Genesis of Cool Springs for allowing me to review this vehicle today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click on that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers to find and get you the best price on this or whatever pre-owned vehicle you might be interested in. So all in all, I think a pretty decent luxury vehicle, especially for this to have over 85,000 miles on it. And you know, it seems to still be driving nicely. I hear a few like odds and ends things that are not perfect. Like this doesn't drive like a new vehicle by any means, but for a pre-owned one, it's just I think it's a relatively good deal. It's just small things that if you want to fix them, you can. But if you're buying a vehicle like this, if there's a rattle here or there, you probably aren't going to be tripping on it. Otherwise, you'd pay double or triple for a new one. But again, for this segment, I think this is pretty solid. And from a mechanical standpoint, as long as you keep up with the maintenance, I expect it to last a while. And with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2018 Mercedes-Benz GLC 300.